So it looks like there's been a lot of post-show activity going on with Big Brother, as the Big Brother players of the house game has returned to the Big Brother life game. And from what I've seen, it's been more posturing and delusion, mainly surrounding and honoring Miss Whitey number one and Whitey number two herself, Tiffany. Now, it seems that several members of the Racist Alliance that made history is stuck at some celeb's house. And when I say stuck, I mean they won't leave and go home, apparently. And these cookout members, along with their personal token, Derek X, who is disgracing himself and his family, they've just been engaging in a lot of posing and posting and getting their egos stroked through social media and the resident BB Woke podcasters, namely Rob has a podcast. And again, they've just been doing a bunch of symbolic bullshit, which I guess is their way of celebrating history and fulfilling a promise for the community and culture. Now, you even have the 1.0 version of Tiffany that arrived, that being Devon, who, when she arrived, she engaged in all of her routine sister girl antics, all exaggerated and fake, even going as far as to place an imaginary crown on the imaginary winner's head. From the second evicted from the Big Brother house to the first evicted from the cookout. But these delusional broads with their rope hair finally have met, and BB Twatter has celebrated this. They also are celebrating it on BB Instagram. And Tamar also decided to arrive along with Bailey. But Tamar is the first so-called black winner of Big Brother franchise, because she won Celebrity Big Brother, which really isn't a real season. But again, Tamar, she's much like a Devon and Tiffany type, because this bitch was very disgusting and disrespectful towards Ricky Williams, the guy who should have won that celebrity season based on gameplay. But this Muppet face suicidal bitch, she won. And she was egregiously disrespectful because she would constantly berate and yell at Ricky Williams, going as far as doing that ghetto hand clapping in his face while yelling at him and being disrespectful as shit. Yet this dude still chose to bring her to the final two. And I guess he thought he would win, and I also believe he thought he would win some points by doing that. But newsflash, he didn't. In fact, he got crapped on all season, called a bully. Yeah, he bullied Tamar while she was clapping in his face. And then he got clowned once he lost in the final two for getting no votes. And he received all of this negativity because these pandering idiot men, let me say that again, these pandering idiot men like Ricky Williams, who follow these woke movements, they follow these woke movements and seem to always forget that they must bow down. Because no matter how loony or irrational the bitch is, they still must bow down to her and enable her delusions. They have to do that for a whack ass bitch, and they have to do that for somebody if they're a member of the alphabet sex cult. And you can guarantee the people who liked Tamar during BB Celeb are also fans of Devon and Tiffany, because they all are of the same type. And much like Tamar, Tiffany barely played the game at all. Difference is, Tamar did win in the final two, so she factually won. But in the minds of those who believe facts don't matter, those people, think Tiffany won at Final Six. So this is what the first black winner celebration has come to. Celebrating a imaginary winner. And the real winner, much like Ricky Williams, gets ignored, pretty much, because Miss Super Pro Black with her Whitey #1 and Whitey #2, she is the one that must be honored. Hell, Rob Has a Podcast has even declared it, so it must be true. Even though one of the main reasons why they don't ignore, I mean, one of the main reasons why they don't honor Ricky Williams and Xavier, one of the reasons is because they both like white girls and date white girls. Because, that's a reason to discredit Ricky Williams and Xavier's gameplay and Xavier's win, believe it or not. But that's how these people behave. They get to criticize guys like that based on nonsense like that. But these black magic or black girl magic bitches, they can lay with their Calvin Candy of Candyland. But it's always criminal the other way around. And for this video, I really want to focus on that fact. How these black girl magic bitches, how these Miss Slay Queen divas who love raising that black power fist, how they always find themselves with their Whitey #1s and Whitey #2s, despite calling out the men when they choose to date that way. For example, there were two Whiteys recently that was able to invade the soil of over 1,700 Wakandians within just a couple of years. Whitey #1 is Mike Oliver, a man who went to Kenya in Africa and got with over 1,000 Kenyan women. Yes, over 1,000. And he even bragged about it, responding to his critics by stating, quote, "I came, I saw, I conquered. When a friend of mine told me that Kenyan women are loose, I didn't believe. I couldn't believe it until I came to Kenya for a holiday with a mission. And yes, I swung into action immediately with post-paid lodging services in major cities. I indiscriminately went for them, tall and short, slim and fat, single and taken, married but loose. I left no stone unturned. Today, I agree with my friend's assertion. In fact, loose is understatement of what these women are. Just show them $1 and you'll see them shake. $1 melts them like ice in summer. Perhaps my skin color too excites them." Oh boy, this is hysterical. Today, I'm surprised some people want me arrested. For which crime? Spending my own money? Having a good time with cheap women? Or, or posting photos of us? Oh no, Kenyans. It's willing buyer, willing seller deal. I force no one. I rape no one. I just showed them $1. If you can be terrified by those few photos, what if I posted all of them? What if I posted all of them? I'm sure these hot videos would send you all into a coma. A rumor has it that I'm HIV positive. That's neither here nor there. Wow. But if indeed I'm infected, then it's not I, but we. Bow. What the fuck? It's not I, but we. My aim of posting those few photos wasn't to hurt anyone. I just wanted to show you how cheap your women are. Damn. Even those who call themselves independent women. Oh, shots fired. Let me say that again. Even those who call themselves independent women, which I'm sure Tiffany, Devon, and Tamar does, have you ever asked yourself where they get their independence from? They trade their dignity for independence. Damn, this dude got bars. Let me say that again. They trade their dignity for independence. We have exploited them well without looking back. I said we because I'm not the only dignity buyer here. The rest aren't brave enough to show it, or maybe they haven't hit the target. Consequently, I believe I've no case to answer. All the hundreds of women I've smashed were adults, and I paid for all their services they offered. Those who accepted to eat peeled banana harvested more. Kindly don't crucify me. I will be leaving soon. And for you cheap women, you can block me on social media, but you cannot unmoan my name. Damn. And this dude, he did all of this, I believe, within a year. Now, Mike Oliver did get arrested on his way to Tanzania. So I guess that's why the others keep their shit secret. But yeah, I guess he embarrassed them too much, so they had to handcuff him. Now the whole thing about him, allegedly affecting the women with HIV. Well, you'll be surprised to find out that's cool in California because a new California law reduces the penalty for knowingly exposing someone to HIV. So the fact that they're arresting this dude in Tanzania for allegedly infecting women with HIV, that means that they're more protective when it comes to knowingly infecting someone with HIV than they are in the United States, specifically within the state of California, which I'm sure a lot of Wakandians supported this law being passed. So this thing could be reduced where you can knowingly infect people with HIV. So all the people who would fake get mad over that, you're full of shit. Because the wokiest of woke states that a lot of you lip-tarded woke motherfuckers supports knowingly infecting people with HIV. And that brings me to Whitey number 2, who is Jason Roger Pope, aka DJ Kid, who has a tons of pics with celebrities. I mean, he even has a pic with Hillary Clinton, another favorite of the Slay Queen slays. And this guy seems to have been a DJ, and he has a lot of pictures with Queen slays as well. Queen slays like Tiffany, Devon, and Tamar fans. And before he got arrested, he was able to dress and act in full wigger attire and sleep with at most, over 700 Wakandian slay queens. And he also bragged about this. stating, quote, if y'all can find one black dude between the age of 16, 29 to 29 that can beat the great DJ Kid at eating black pussy for an hour straight, eating the chocolate asshole for 30 minutes straight, and fucking for 45 minutes straight, I'll let you win the $1,000 cash. And then he made a post at the time where he stated, I'm 36 with 693 bodies, all black females. Man. And this guy, this happened in America. So you had one Whitey who was, conquering a country in Africa. And then you have another Whitey who was, conquering Wakanda in America. And, again, the diss towards this guy is that he knowingly infected women as well. But again, here in America, according to the woke libtards out here, they're trying to push laws to make it reflect the one in California, where you can knowingly infect people. So again, like I said, if you're woke, if you're libtarded, the outrage about the knowingly infecting people, allegedly, the outrage is fake, because the politicians you support support those laws and have passed them in California. Now, I highlight all these cases of over 1,700 women between two white dudes, and by the look of them, they ain't a bunch of they aren't Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Some pretty basic looking, dare I say, below average looking. But again, they have the Mayo complexion that they love accusing the Xaviers and Ricky Williams of the world of being addicted to. But yet they got conquered by two white dudes, in a couple of years, over 1,700. And I bring that up because it reflects Miss Whitey number one, Whitey number two, Tiffany, who last time I checked, she wasn't forced, on through social media to be attracted to the dark-skinned black guy in the house. No, she was allowed to favor and prefer the lighter skinned one. Now they would call somebody like Xavier color struck, if he dared to like someone of a lighter complexion than him. That's why they were trying to force him to be with Ozza, or at least force him through Twitter, through their Twitter fingers. I mean, I remember he made a comment about exotic women, and people knew that he liked Alyssa, and they tried to call him color struck over that. But for their slay queens, hell, they can get away with, having their Whitey number ones and Whitey number twos. I mean, you have another loudmouth in Ika from Canada who talks all that BLM bullshit, but she has her Mayo King. And Jody from Big Brother 14 was talking all that, pro-black bullshit, and she has her Mayo King. Like these bitches get to be seamlessly hypocritical because they have no dignity. And that's why at every turn, in every opportunity, I will insult these soulless bitches, because number one, they're soulless and they have no honor. Because they got another thing coming if they believe they can hold other people to one standard, but they don't have to hold themselves to that same standard. Fuck you. That ain't happening over here. And that's why I love calling these dingback bitches out. So for all the morons who've been throwing that word coon around so loosely and other degrading terms, and for all the Big Brother alumni who have actively ignored that, and the woke Big Brother podcasters who not only actively ignored it, but they've enabled it by also adding fuel onto the fire when they say, well, the win doesn't count if Hannah or Tiffany doesn't win. So, as far as I'm concerned, Rob has a podcast and other podcasters. You're a part of the woke crowd calling Xavier and Kylan coons. Because you can see the Twitter feed, you follow the hashtag, you've seen the remarks. But instead of highlighting it and addressing it, you add fuel to the fire by saying Hannah and Tiffany should have won, and then after the season, continuing that bonfire by inflating the egos of bitches who don't deserve it. And again, what are they doing for the community? Huh? Oh, they're doing the same thing that Patrice bitch did with BLM? Nothing. Just using it as a money hustle. And that's what this activism bullshit has always been. I mean, when you take your time and research all the people that were involved with the civil rights movement back in the 50s and 60s, you find out they were fucking hustling too. MLK, when he was getting his Nobel Peace Prize or something, yeah, he was offering banging white chicks. You know, you had the Blade, the gay black dudes that were a part of the civil rights movement from back then, getting caught in cars with their white lovers. I mean, it's the same fucking game, same goddamn hustle. And for generations now, a lot of nitwits have been buying into it. You know, and I'm sad to say that I even believed in the bullshit, but that's just because I think 99.9% of so-called black households they're raised on this bullshit. You know, and if you're not raised in a full conservative black household, which would be called an Uncle Tom household, if you're not raised in that, then you're raised in the alternative. And the alternative is usually selling into that race play, race hustling bullshit, but thinking it's all about civil rights when it's not. It's really just being in and around your obsession. And the obsession of all of these pro wokes, of all of these Black Lives Matters, of all of these cookout type of people, their main obsession is, in fact, being around white people. You know, it's like that thin line between love and hate song. Or that, like, obsessive lover that will, kill everyone, kill you and themselves. They just have to be around you. You know, that's what that obsession is. And that's what the Tiffanys of this world represent. You know, she embodies all of that in the way she talks, in the way she behaves, in the way she poses and postures on social media. She reflects all of that bullshit. And that's why she's their queen. And they got to honor her. Even more so than the winner. You know? I'll give Xavier credit for playing the Big Brother life game pretty well. He removed himself from Twitter, the platform that's been calling him coon all season long. And, he shows up for a couple of photo ops because he's playing the game. He's pandering. He's still playing the woke games. But he seems so far to be playing it more intelligently. Of course, there's always time for him to fuck it up, but, we'll see as this bullshit continues. But I'll keep doing more videos like this because that cookout mentality, it's not just limited to this reality TV show game. It's widespread, it's everywhere. Clearly, not even just in America, but in Africa as well, as we've seen through the exploits of Mike Oliver. Because I'm sure a lot of those women that he slept with are the same women that were showing up for the Black Panther movie premiere. And all their, kente cloth apparel, throwing up their fists, screaming Black Lives Matter. Because I think with this Mike Oliver situation, this was before BLM was reignited once again. But yeah, I'm sure all those women that he slept with were back on their social media screaming Black Lives Matter and all that other bullshit. It's a hustle game, and I refuse to enable it. So at every opportunity, I'm gonna call the bullshit out. And I'm sure this cookout game will continue to be the shit show that it is, and I'm going to be here for it, highlighting cookout mentality within and outside of the Big Brother house game.